I'm Brad, and this is Paintball Ruin My Life, and let's talk about the Valken code. Is it terrible? Is it good? Let's find out. The code's a little bit late because I neglected to get one from Valken on their first shipment, but it's finally here. So let's start off with some features, kind of the basic things we can expect and like selling points of the code, and then my opinion, and if you should get one, if you shouldn't get one, what's similar, and all that stuff in between. So first, the code is an electronic mid-range paintball gun. It's gonna come with 10 total firing modes, unlimited semi-auto, capped semi-auto, 5 different ramping modes, an auto response mode where you kind of like pull the trigger and let go and it sort of shoots 2 paintballs, a burst mode, and a real full auto mode. Code has this handy on-off ASA. The code has that lever style on-off ASA that's going to be similar to the Empire Sniper and Empire Resurrection on-offs. Clamping lever feed neck, which is standard nowadays. Quick release bolt system, which is really easy to release. You just push that button down, bolt pops out the back, and just push it back in. It's pretty easy, really simple and quick to take out the bolt. Something that's kind of unique to the code is where you adjust the velocity. The regulator on the code is found in the trigger frame. You adjust the velocity on the back of the trigger frame. Yep, that's the features of the code. There's some other stuff, but those are like the main big features or things that people are gonna find attractive. My initial impressions of the code was that it looks exactly like a Mini. But while it looks like a Mini, it's considerably different. The regulator's in a different spot, the bolt is completely different. It's a different gun. They just kind of like bit off the Mini's design by putting the battery in the front and the board's in the same spot. So while it looks like the Mini, it's hard to just say that Valken completely ripped off Empire. It's really a completely different gun. They just kind of stole the front foregrip area. So it's not a complete rip-off, just a little bit. It definitely kind of feels like the Mini though, in your hands. It's got that very small, compact feel, just like the Mini does. The code has 2 natural competitors, the Empire Mini GS and then the Proto Rise. The Rise, because it's priced very similar, but the code does have advantages. The code does have that lever feed neck, does have the on-off ASA, and the whole thing's made of aluminum, where the Rise has that composite frame, composite feed neck, doesn't have lever feed neck or on-off. The Mini GS though does have all those same features that the code has. So there aren't any really glaring features of the code comparatively to the Mini GS that make either one stand out as like a better value. So I didn't really have high hopes of these things. I didn't expect much. This is Valken's like second mid-rangey paintball gun. Previously they had the Proton, which I was not a fan of. It had the weird power button and like on-off was weird, the bolt was weird, the front foregrip was like a toothpick. It was weird, and I just didn't like the thing. So I didn't really expect much from these. So my expectations were low. And guys, also at this time, I released the shooting video. If you want, I'll put a link up there, go check that out. That kind of can explain what I'm about to say. So in that shooting video, this didn't go well, really. I mean, I was shooting 4-star, GI 4-star, which you could classify as a tournament paint, so it's pretty brittle, but I assumed this could shoot this, right? Like the Mini could shoot it and the Rise could handle that 4-star, so I expected this to be able to, but maybe it just can't. Maybe the paint was too brittle, but I broke a bunch of paint in the barrel and in the gun, and there were some times when I was shooting and the gun would and just not shoot. The solenoid would click and just the bolt wouldn't move and paint wouldn't come out. I continued to shoot though, and it would shoot. My initial thought was, hey, maybe the battery's low, but checked the battery, battery's good, and was like, maybe there's not enough grease. There was enough grease. Gun's brand new. Like I literally took it out of the box, radared it, and then just started shooting. So it wasn't like sitting around for a long time. I didn't do anything else to it. I just started shooting and it started messing up. I don't know if that's gonna be typical of all the codes. There's probably some people that have had them and they're perfectly fine, but my experience so far has been, it didn't work all the time. So in these reviews, I would like to be able to say, buy this or don't buy this. And at this point, don't buy a code. I hate to just say that. I wish I could be like, it's great, go for it. But in my little time that I had it, maybe the 500 paintballs that I shot, it probably didn't shoot 10 times when I pulled the trigger. And that's not good. It should just work. And you'd expect guns in this price range to just work, because typically they're people that are not as experienced with paintball equipment. So we even want the less expensive guns to be even more reliable, so they're just simple and work. And the code didn't. So while the shot quality is good, it's quiet, doesn't kick much, it broke a little bit of that higher end paint and didn't work all the time. So if I'm in the market, me personally, for a gun that's $250, I just buy a Mini GS. Why? Because I know they work. I don't think the code's gonna really do anything better. It's not gonna be quieter, it's not gonna kick less, it's not gonna be more air efficient, and directly from my experience, the Mini GS is gonna be more reliable. So I trust Empire more. They continue to sell the Mini, they've been doing it for 10 years, and the gun just works. It's simple, it's reliable. So if you're looking at the Valken code, I wouldn't buy the Mini GS. That's all I got for you guys. If you want, check out the Mini GS review by hitting that rectangular box, hit the circle box and subscribe, or the Paintball Ruined My Life store by hitting that square box.